go. Shanghai, round 3 of SLR Tier 1. We have 5 lights and it is go. And a pretty good start by the looks of it from Copy. Is he drawing alongside Julian? It's going to be closer to turn 1. Julian does have the space to cut across. Speedy got a very good one as well. Going to try and go around the outside of Copy as they go through turn 1. He's hung out a little bit to dry by Julian, who is on the outside of the track. But Julian it is who makes a clean start. Copy at the moment second, Speedy third. But it's side by side as they head up towards turn 3 and turn 4. Jensen and Pretorius just behind as well, and number 2 Ferraris, but it's still Speedy and Copy contesting second and third, and down the inside goes Bants and 3 wide as they go into the hairpin and the right-hander. Still side by side Copy and Speedy. They've been side by side for basically half a lap now. Speedy on the inside of the left-hander, that means Copy has the inside for the right-hander. Completely clean racing so far. Icewind and Prix come together a little bit. Bahrain, very, very good race in Bahrain. So, as Bants is caught a little bit sleeping, I think, in the safety car restart. Everyone else has bolted.
Costa, Bants, Costa, Danny opened past each other. That was not legal, I think.
As the leaders cross the line, yeah, Costa having to stay ahead of Danny. Julian's got himself a little bit of a gap by the looks of things. Copy doesn't have much of a gap. Yep, fair enough. So Costa. And Costa spins. I think he ran into the back, and hitting him is Hueni.
Floating loosely between them. There's a midfield train, Danico, and then the front train.
That was front wing. That was front wing.
That's his right hand brake gone as he drives into the ground by imagining the tire.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the end of Icewind's race, unfortunately. Yeah, he certainly didn't do anything unfair there. That's what we saw at least. Julian was up for the race on the medium tyres. Hueni and Light Cruiser side by side in the hairpin, out of the hairpin, now into the last corner, still side by side as Hueni gets pushed off a little bit onto the front off there, a little bit more contact between them, wheel banging down the straight. There's a Williams there just behind as well, making it 3 wide. Luigi trying to go around the outside of both of them, and Luigi with the ultimate opportunism.
Oh no, he gets squeezed there. Well, Scissors closing for Luigi. And Black Cruiser, who's getting the better traction here, trying to short shift that, get the max traction. Both go on the RS actually. Winnie on the outside, maybe tries to go for the inside, maybe a lunge by Winnie. He is confident on his brakes, even though he's turned off line, and he still knows his braking points. That was amazing. And a fair dive, I think. Like in the first stage. Maybe you should have thought that it was not fixing that.
Yes, unless he goes in JJ and he really needs to get this done as soon as he possibly can, and JJ's not going to give it to him by the looks of things. Right hand, he goes on the inside here. Turn 1, he does very comfortably get that move done on NJJ, so
after it restarted, it was like 87.
Oh, as Bants hits the back of Ocean Chief, and Light Cruiser says thank you very much, I'm going to make my way through. But Bants would have enjoyed that. That's not how we would have wanted to pass Ocean Chief. I don't think he's going to be able to hold him off. Who does go NJJ on the outside into turn 1?
You can see as Jensen. Oh, he actually bangs into the side of it. They are making contact again. So they went side by side in the final corner. Apex and Jensen gets the better run, and now they will go to the side by side. The Conky is on the inside. Ken Jensen hanging on the outside. This very long turn 1. He's got his nose ahead, and more than his nose actually. He's full on ahead. Now Conky runs the tighter line. Jensen closes the door though, so he is fine.
Certainly.
Yep,
down the inside into the hairpin. Bants with the cut back though. Is he going to be able to get the traction on the exit? Probably not. Oh no! As NJJ gets sent into the wall.
I thought he can pull that out of the back! As Copy runs into the back of Jensen.
He got damaged there, Copy. I wonder if he's...
It's 3/10 now. Copy has done that well. I think Copy might just about have it. Julian comes across the line to win, and it's 2.6 seconds between Copy and Jensen. Copy absolutely keeps that corner. I'll take P2 there.
Very close. That was last week. This, once again, is this week. Here we are in Baku for round 4 of the SLR Tier 1 Championship. And you can see we have a grid full of 16 drivers, and something happened to WoW. Don't exactly know what happened to WoW, but he is retired from the session, so he's going to be putting a lap in. Milosh goes on pole immediately, but we'll come to the times in a second. But for now, I'm Terra, and alongside me, once again, is Thimo. How's it going, Thimo?
Hello. It's going great, and this is Baku. I've said it multiple times. Racing at Baku is great as a spectator sport. I don't really like driving it, but I think watching it is one of the best Grand Prix ever. That's also why probably everyone hates me, because I always want Baku in the EGL tournaments, but no one else wants it. I always want to watch Baku races because of the long straights and the DRS, plenty of overtaking, even though it's kind of artificial with the DRS. The straight is strong, long enough that you would also do it without, I guess. Anyways, yeah, we'll see a lot of fighting today, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, me too. I think it'll be a fun one. We got a bunch of people going out on hards. We got Pretorius, who's gone out on softs and has done a 1 minute 38.4. The reason everyone's going out on hards, of course, as usual, is it is a good lap. But the reason, of course, everyone's going out on hards, as usual, is that we have, and I think I need to turn Thimo up a little bit thinking about it, is that we have, as the preferred strategy, medium to hard. So a bunch of people are going to go out at the end of the session onto their medium tyres and try and do a lap on those and then do a one-stop race.
An interesting thing about that I've noticed is that, at least in Tier 2, but I think also in Tier 1 last season, the meta, so to speak, in tire strategy in Azerbaijan was different, as in basically everyone was running softs, if I remember correctly. Certainly in Tier 2, don't know if the same was true for Tier 1, but I assume so. And that has completely shifted. We've got 3...
Costa into the wall, sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate. We've got 3 people who are officially on softs, but 2 of them aren't even on the track. It's only Pretorius, who looks like he definitely wants to be on the soft tire at the start of the race. Last season he won here, and maybe he can repeat it, because the likelihood of him getting a pole position isn't very low with the softs. Question is, can he transition it through the race? In the racetrack position doesn't mean as much in Baku as it does on other tracks in my experience, because you can pull off very ambitious overtakes, and there's very little people can do to defend if you're really all over their back and you try to overtake him with DRS. So maybe Pretorius has kind of miscalculated that. Because softs are of course viable if everyone uses softs, then it's fine to use softs too. But if you're in a field packed with hards and mediums runners, then you want to ideally do the same, otherwise you'll be outdone on strategy if the guy in P2 is on mediums and you're on softs. It's not that big of an advantage.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, Pretorius has switched over to mediums. Apparently he realized that he's not on the best strategy as of right now. The question is, can he beat the 38.4 with mediums?
That would take some doing. Yeah, that would take some doing. It's a good lap on softs at 38.4, and yeah, as you said, with everyone else being on mediums by the looks of things, you really don't want to be the only one on those soft tyres running that different strategy, because you really lose the advantage of track position if that's the case. So yeah, as you said, he might just be realizing now that he will want to be starting on mediums, but I think it's probably too late for him to do anything about it.
Yeah, he might be trapped here. I'm trying to think what the quickest medium time I've seen is, but I think it's like something around what Pretorius has got on the board here, and it was like by Copy and Speedy. So I believe Pretorius is going to have a hard time, but it is theoretically possible. Now, the question is going to be, who's going to qualify P2 then, because it's going to be the prime position to be in for the race. Copy puts in a very quick lap. And
Yep,
puts him
on the
in
hards.
2 with a 39.7, great lap. A second ahead of Icewind. And that will cause the other driver some headaches, I'd imagine.
Yep, I think it's going to be difficult to beat Copy this afternoon. We don't have Julian, of course, which is unfortunate. Hope to see him back next week. But we have 16 drivers. Also, I mentioned about Wow, who for some reason has left qualifying. Maybe he hit the wall, I don't know. But Toto, I believe Toto has a qualifying ban. I'm not absolutely sure about that.
Didn't you have one last time? Oh, never mind. That was to SRL.
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Intentionally rude.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just crashed. But Toto, in any case, is not going to be setting a qualifying lap this time around. We got Hueni on a fast one now on relatively used hard tyres now. Light Cruiser's fitting the soft tyres. I wonder if he's thinking about going out and doing a Banzai lap on those. Hueni about to come across the line. And he is going to improve, and he improves to 3rd place. So 1 minute 40.6, which is a great lap on the hard tyres.
I'm so caught up in looking for the penalty results.
Ah, good idea.
Here. No, he doesn't have a...
Oh yeah, Danny says he doesn't have a qualifying ban in chat, so thank you, Danny. So,
he has 10 points only on the board.
okay, I guess he just crashed then. That would...
Yeah, it's easy to do.
It is certainly easy to do around here. There's a lot of walls. It's a street circuit, of course, and as we all know, you have to be alert.
Mr. Ocean Chief is hosting a stream under the name Baku or Die, which I find ironic because they're not mutually exclusive.
I was gonna say, you could very easily do both in SLR.
Yeah, especially... I was gonna say, are you trashing SLR by saying in SLR, but no, driving on full damage, so it's even easier. I don't know, for those who didn't watch Tier 2 race, the Tier 2 race, like I finished P6, but just because I didn't touch the wall at any point because I knew that that's the main thing here, and I was like 1 or 2 seconds off my practice pace, but I survived and that put me up the order in the end. But this is a little bit different. It's Tier 1, it's supposed to be the elite of this league, so coasting to the finish line won't gain you anything here.
Well,
so,
you never know. You never know. It just might. Baku is one of those tracks that enough people do get caught out by it that quite often all you have to do is survive. We see Tipsy Bob coming across the line. 41.4 from Tipsy. And
Okay.
I was going to say, that reminds me to remind you all that after this race we got the Assetto Corsa coming up from Imola. Tipsy is a fast boy in the Lamborghini there, so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, I quickly have to close the window because even though I live in a 700 people village, there's a super loud party outside. And
Okay, wow.
I want to listen to their music.
Lots of Germans having a good time in Thimo's hometown, so we will wait for him to get back. We saw Luigi have a little bit of an off-track excursion in turn 1. Didn't see what happened to him. I guess he just went straight on. It's not really a place where you can spin. Certainly on F1 2019, so I don't know. Maybe something happened there. We're going to see if we can spot who is on a fast lap. We got 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. This man here is on a fast lap, Mr. Ocean Chief. And I believe he was up on his previous time, which was on the hard tyres, of course. Through the castle section he goes.
That is very interesting, what the hell. Oh, okay. I'm back.
So here is
I'm
Ocean.
sure you've mentioned Luigi.
Yeah, so Luigi, he went straight on at turn 1. Excuse me, straight on at turn 1 after his qualifying lap, but didn't see what happened to him. But in any case, he's put in a very good lap on the medium tyres.
He's slowly coming to terms with driving in Tier 1. Obviously been a very fast boy. Has won races last season in Tier 2, and now he has dropped all assists, and he is partnering Copy at Williams in Tier 1. And he's getting better and better as time continues, so might be a good example for some others and like encouragement.
Yep, absolutely. He's giving it everything he's got in this qualifying session. He's put it in 3rd place at the moment. He may have to improve to keep that 3rd place. We've got a bunch of people who are out on the medium tyres now. Icewind is about to start, I believe about to start his fast lap here. Although, I guess he abandoned this one because he doesn't have a full battery. Yet he is in 0, so I would assume that he abandoned for whatever reason. He's going to go again here as he comes onto the main straight. We'll keep an eye on the leaderboards to see who else manages to improve. Costa has managed to get himself up to P6 on those medium tyres with a 1 minute 40.5. That's a pretty good lap from him.
Indeed. The Terrorosses have been struggling at the start of the season quite a bit. Usually find them towards the end, but you can see these glimpses of pace and they are getting quicker. The two of them, as well as Luigi, both coming straight from Tier 2, so you need your adjusting time, but they're also settling in and slowly getting there, slowly but surely. And I'm sure by like halfway point of the season they'll be able to be a real challenge to some guys further to the front. And Costa's in P7 right now with a decent time, showing that is very likely to happen at some point.
Yep, certainly is.
Oh! Cursed!
Oh dear, what happened to Cursed?
He is stupid.
Yeah, rip. He has decided to yeet it into the wall. He's in P6 at the moment.
Yeah, he turned into early and knocked his front wing, and yeah, it sent him straight into the other barrier. So that was his run over. So he's in P6. He'll be a little bit upset with that. And it looks like Pretorius' pole time will stand the test of time. The question is, where can Copy get himself?
Well, Icewind's about to cross the line as well here. We expect Icewind to be fast on the medium tyres. I would expect this to be somewhere in the top 5. As I say that, he decides not to improve on that lap. So I think that's the end of his qualifying.
Behind Ocean Chief.
Yeah, that must be the end of his qualifying then, and he's going to be on the medium tyres with that lap. So I don't know if he wasn't improving or if he decided not to improve. He retires from the session.
I don't know. He frequently stresses how the first half of the season is full of tracks that he doesn't like and that he's not good at. So maybe it's just actually that.
Oh, he ran out of fuel according to Danny. Wow.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Copy is 7/10 up on his time, so he'll likely break into the 30.
Oh, Pretorius on the softs does a 37.9.
Well, if you're going to make a mistake, at least double down on it. That's what he thinks.
No doubt about where pole position is going for this qualifying session. Copy, though, is going to cross the line. He does get into the 38s, as you mentioned, and he's more than a second ahead of the nearest mediums runner.
Yeah, that is
very good lap.
I think the guy most likely, or the guy who would have been most likely to beat him on this grid is probably Wow, but for some reason he is coming from the back. So yeah, that will put him at a severe disadvantage.
When he does jump out of the way of Popo, I was a little bit worried that he wasn't going to. His teammate there, Costa, doesn't look like he quite managed to get across the line to start that lap on the soft, so he's going to be stuck in what is P8 for the time being. Popo, though, on a fast one, coming towards the end of this lap. I missed what the split was. Ocean up in P5 at the moment, which we definitely shouldn't ignore because his lap was on mediums, so that is legitimate pace from Ocean Chief
When Black
light
Cruiser puts it in
cruiser.
third, and can
Yeah.
Popo improve on that? Yeah, he makes it into P3. I thought the last split didn't look too good. Was only like 2 tenths up, or did I see that wrong?
I didn't see.
Okay.
I,
'Cause I
oh,
thought I
it's
saw,
Max into the castle section who
2 tenths.
yoinks the wall.
Ah,
And that's the end of his qualifying session.
easy to do. Max spills. Out of qualifying, Pretoria is actually the only one who is still running, but he is on. He is on his way back to the pit lane, which he
Yep.
will enter now.
Looking after those tyres as best he can. But yeah, 37.9 is a very fast lap on the softs, but I just wonder if he is on the wrong strategy here. We've got everyone else on the grid is going to be starting either on mediums or on hards. Everyone else in the top 10 is on mediums. Pretorius going to be starting on softs. He's either going to be trying to stretch a one-stop, or he's going to be two-stopping today, which I think generally is slower, but maybe he can make it work. He certainly showed good enough pace in qualifying that might just be able to spring a surprise.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what this race is going to bring. Prediction-wise, I expect Copy to come through the grid, and I expect there to be a massive battle for the midfield positions. Ocean Chief and Costa, 5 cars within 1.5 of a tenth. So I expect there to be some competitive racing in the midfield, and probably also ahead of it.
Yep, I would have thought so. We got, I mean, think about Icewind's relatively slow lap by his very high standards is that he's still not all that far behind. He's alongside his teammate Ocean, and he's behind Light Cruiser and Luigi and Popo, who certainly going to be within striking distance come the start of the race. And it is a long race here. A lot can happen, and we've seen both in SLR and in the real life Baku races that always got to expect the unexpected here. It's certainly a difficult place to race.
I mean, yeah, it's just one of these tracks where a single slip of concentration can just send you into the castle section wall, or any other wall as well. But specifically, that one is very lethal. One mistake in it hits your tire just at the one point where it takes it off. Cars are seemingly struggling to load in, but I see Julian on the loading list. Has he joined us late?
Oh, maybe. So he might be missing qualifying but doing the race. And that is going to be interesting if Julian is with us for the race. Because he, as we know, is extremely fast. So he's going to be looking to come through the field in fairly short order, I would have thought. We'll see. Yeah, he is in a Ferrari by the looks of things. So
Yep.
I think we do have him at the back of the grid in this race.
Maybe someone in chat can confirm that, but I believe that the bug, or yeah, not really bug, but it's been fixed that you can't put an Assetto up after you use qualifying in Park Ferme. So potentially he's not even going to be at that big of a disadvantage. I mean, starting in P17 is always a disadvantage as compared to starting in the front row, but at Baku it doesn't make as big a difference as it does on other tracks. And if he's got a good setup and he can and he's genuinely quicker than Copy, maybe he can get himself up the order and be a genuine third for a high podium position, maybe even a win. We can't count him out yet, and the same goes for WoW, even though WoW definitely has a setup because he participated in qualifying.
Yep, it's going to be those two looking to come through the field, I would have thought. Both of them on their day certainly capable of winning races. Julian won the last race in China, of course. But yeah, up at the front, Copy is going to be fancying his chances as the person really who's in the box seat in this race. He's on the medium tyres, and Pretorius ahead of him is on the soft, so Pretorius is going to have to pit quite a bit earlier and run the hards for longer if he's going to one stop.
Yeah, questionable
that is going to go well, but it's probably the only real chance he has, because I don't think a two-stop is going to be anywhere near competitive here.
Yeah, well, you lose such a lot of time. Excuse me. You lose such a lot of time in the pits that I think a two-stop is really difficult to make work. It's such a long straight and such a fast straight here at Baku that any time that you have that you're not going full speed down the straight, you're going to be losing an awful lot of time, and you do lose somewhere around 22-23 seconds in the pits here.
Yeah, a little bit longer than on other tracks, probably because of what you mentioned, that you you have to brake and not take the full speed before the pit entrance. While on other tracks you just can accelerate into the pit entrance. So yeah, in Baku it hurts you a lot. But
here we go then. Baku Season 4 Tier 1 SLR is go! And a pretty good start by the looks of it from Copy. Did he get the jump on Pretorius? No, he didn't.
Oh no!
Pretorius
into Julian come together!
Oh no, right at the back.
Already.
And we didn't see, Julian looks like he's lost a little bit of front wing. I didn't see whether Wow has, but Julian sending one up the inside. Or was Wow sending one up the inside and almost stopped into turn 2. And all sorts of incidents towards the back, but everyone at the front looks like they got away relatively cleanly. We're going to keep an eye on the midfield here as they go into turn number 3. Everyone side-by-side action there with Bascodino and Costa, but they both made it through. And lap 1, apart from that incident at the back, looks like it's relatively clean. When he has left the session, didn't see what happened.
We kind of lost him on connection here. I don't think he could load in properly. Didn't see him on the grid at all.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. So I actually rode on board with Julian when it happened. He, as Max Spills almost goes into the wall, Julian tried to go around the outside of Wow just off the line because he got a very good launch. And yeah, Wow, I think either he struggled for traction or just closed the door, and then they made contact. Julian was pushed into the wall, and Wow also half spun. I saw a front wing part flying. I just don't know whose car.
And Costa into the wall as well, and the left-hander at the end of the back straight. So he's going to be down on some downforce there, missing that right front end plate.
Oh wow, Julian is missing both of his end plates.
Oh dear.
His car's damaged on both sides. I full on expect him to pit here. But if there's a track for safety cars, it's probably Baku.
Yeah, it certainly is. Pretorius does the fastest lap of the race. He's got a little bit of a gap in this one. And yeah, both Wow and Julian pitting.
Oh, okay. I thought that Wow had slowed down because we thought Julian tried to sneak him out of DRS as Costa spun with turn 1. He's facing the wrong way and he is missing some front wing, and that will put him down the order P14. And he'll need to come in for repairs.
Yep, unfortunate for Costa, so he's struggling in this one. But yeah, Pretorius has a little bit of a gap on those soft tyres, and he's making good use of them in the first couple of laps of this race. And yeah, when he's game crashed.
Local gamer, he has he's right on the back of Copy still, and he can go his pace very well, even though he doesn't have DRS yet. And as soon as the DRS will kick in, I think he'll be in a good position if he can hang on to Copy's back. Maybe Copy will give it his all now because he sees that the others are still very competitive, and he needs to get out there as soon as possible if he wants to stay ahead. We will see. Can Popo hang on? Poppy.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see. We saw Miloš going. I don't know whether he went into the wall on the exit of the castle section, but certainly he was close to the wall and lost himself some time there. So he's struggling to hang on to the back of the two Alfa Romeos in front of him.
Yeah, one of them has been told that Fernando is faster than him. He's now, Ocean Chief has dropped way behind Icewind already.
Yep.
But it looks like he's still got all of his front wings, so that's not the reason.
Yep, I think he waved Icewind through at the beginning of the last lap, or the first half of the last lap, as we see the DRS is now enabled. Copy can just about see Pretorius in front of him. The gap is 2.5 seconds though, so Pretorius really stretching his legs in this race, really showing he's got very good pace on those soft tyres.
Yeah, he does what he needs to do, but if it doesn't work out in the end, it's probably safe to say that it was just the strategy, but not being as good as it needed to be. Tires, especially rear tires, wear quite quickly here, and if you lock up a lot and stuff, or you get into slides a lot, the tires can die even quicker. This track is a tire eater.
Yep, certainly is, specifically
don't be
rear
in
tires.
trouble.
Rear tires really struggle with the traction zones in this one. You can see
What's another problem on this track? If you have inferior tires, that means you're probably going to get overtaken defending, and being hard on defending doesn't really work here. Usually when someone comes past you, it's with a lot of overspeed, and Copy seems to not be able to break away of Popo.
Yeah, and he seems to be losing touch even further with Pretorius. We saw Julian have an incident as well down at the back of the field. Didn't see exactly what happened. We saw the end of it, but he certainly got overtaken by Wow and is now several seconds off Wow.
The yellows.
That was what the yellows was, yeah. And
He's
that's the one.
absolutely throwing it through Castle. That's yeah, that's probably normal, but I just go off what I do. So probably lose like 1 second alone there.
Well, he probably is absolutely sending it because he knows now that he doesn't really have anything to lose.
True.
He's lap 4 of this race, and it's all fallen apart for him already. He wasn't able to connect to qualifying. As we see Tipsy and Bascodinho battling, and Bascodinho under threat from Toto. Two Dutch drivers side by side into turn 2. Good racing room given by both of them. And Toto looks like he might just have the better of that one as they head down towards turn 3. Bascodinho having to yield. Oh, as he locks up there, but does make the corner. And yeah, he loses that place to Toto. So 3 seconds up front is what the gap is. As we see Milos right on the back now of Ocean Chief. Ocean Chief has lost some amount of touch with Icewind. Icewind looks like he's trying to bridge the gap to the front 5 as Milos runs right into the back of Ocean Chief there into the castle section. He did lose some of his front wing there.
Patience does really pay off.
Yep.
And we've got yellows, and it's Costa who's pinned it in the castle.
Oh dear. So
yeah.
he's gotten going again, but yeah, he'll be minus some front wing if that was the case.
Another development is the decay of soft tires. Pretorius now slower than Copy. I mean, even probably he made a mistake for the gap to close like that, but I think around now the soft tires will go into rapid decline of pace and grip, and that will put him into trouble. Who were the guys who were fighting for victory last time around? Was Popo in then, or was Pretorius, Astro and Speedy, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Astro and Speedy were both up there. Julian, of course, did end up winning the race. Popo was in the group just behind.
I mean, last time Baku.
Oh, last time in Baku.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I just remember there was a heavily contested race. I know that Pretorius was up there, but I can't associate for some reason it with Popo. So I thought maybe he had a very good result. Because he's also very quick here. He's going right with the Season 2 champion.
Yep, certainly is here. He's keeping Copy very honest. Copy, as you mentioned, is closing the gap now to Pretorius, but gap is still 2.5 seconds, and Pretorius with the strategic disadvantage, or so we thought, but it looks like he's making it work at the moment. He's going to have to pit probably fairly soon to replace those soft tyres with probably hard tyres.
If not, he's going for the 2-stop, and I don't think it's quite that viable.
And I don't know whether Popo is going to be in DRS here of Copy. It's very, very close between the two of them. I don't think he quite is, unfortunately. So
that is very unfortunate. As Bascodinho has probably crashed. I'm riding on board with Vow to find out.
Yep, safety car is out. Safety car is out.
That is perfect for Pretorius, but I think because you're in range to go to the end of the race, I think everyone will pit. No, they won't.
So Pretorius pits, Copy pits, Light Cruiser pits.
Icewind and Ocean both in.
Yep.
Milosh will also go into the pits. Wait, hasn't he just... No, he'll fix his front wing now.
Yep, I would have thought so.
Tipsy stays out. Bold call. I don't know if it's going to pay off. And unfortunately, WoW, as the one thing happened... Oh, no! WoW is violently crashed in the... what we like to call ping pong section, the S section towards the end of... He's out of a tire.
Wow,
Now,
okay.
narrowly avoided him, so right as the thing happens, that would have put WoW back into contention. He crashes out of the race.
Well, that was under safety car conditions. It was definitely under safety car conditions at that point, so...
Oh, wow.
That is that is a curious crash for WoW. Under the safety car at the end of the lap, so no points for WoW, unfortunately. And this does bring Julian, of course, right back into the race. He's going to be at the back of the snake now at the beginning of the next couple of laps, whenever the restart is.
Yeah. One in trouble, though, is I think Popo, he missed the call. And even if and he's being held up by the safety car massively, so everyone is catching up to him. I think he just didn't... maybe he didn't think everyone was going to drag them 21 laps, but it is the best thing to do. You don't lose 20 seconds by stretching the hards for 6 more laps. So, yeah, I think Popo might have actually unintentionally put himself out of contention here by that strategy call.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he's... Assuming you can... And yeah, I think you can stretch the hards to the end, can't you? So...
You can.
Probably that was a bad call for Popo. We'll have to wait and see. Tipsy's is a little bit more interesting because he's already on the hard tyre. So that was probably a very poorly timed safety car for him. He's going to have to pit for the mediums at some point towards the second half of the race. So the field now beginning to bunch up behind the safety car. We're going to have at least another lap, probably another 2 laps, or maybe actually because it came out at the end of lap 5, so maybe it'll be the end of this lap, depending on whether the field is able to bunch up. And yeah, one loser from all of that was Ocean Chief, who had to double stack behind his teammate. Icewind, of course, was ahead on the road as Costa gets himself a very unnecessary pit lane speeding penalty. He won't be happy with that.
If there's a time you don't need to speed, then it is certainly on the safety car conditions.
Yep, he's going to put the medium tyres on, so that's curious. I wonder if he can stretch those to the end, or whether he's going to be stopping again for the softs towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm really confused with what Toto's mission is here. It is puzzling to me.
Well, I think he's two-stopping. But yeah, I don't know what he's hoping to gain by doing this.
Yeah. I mean, in a race where everyone is going to get a free pit stop, and you could also still go to the end if you followed the same strategy, everyone would be in the same conditions. I don't think you want to go with the off strategy. I don't think this is going to gain him enough time to be anything close to worth. So, yeah, I think he played himself there.
Yep, very possibly. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. And of course, there's always the possibility of more safety cars or more incident in this race.
And the 2 alphas are on mediums as well. It's I don't know what their plan is. I think going hard to the end is the objectively best plan now. You can do 19 laps, I'm sure. You'll be like towards the 60s with your tire wear, but the problem with Icewind and Ocean Chief is that they were on mediums beforehand, so they have to...
They're definitely pitting again.
For another tire, so either softs, and I don't think they can do it. So it's probably hards that they will be forced to go for. Even though I think, reconsidering, softs will probably be possible.
Here we go then on the restart. Popo leads the field, and there was an incident towards the back. Luigi has managed to hit Ocean Chief, and Luigi's not missing wing. I don't know.
Not damaged, and only the penalty for Luigi. So Ocean Chief is unharmed as the safety car goes away, and
Oh,
Popo...
Light Cruiser on Tipsy immediately. Trying to go around the outside into turn 1. Copy has a little bit of a look at Pretorius, but nothing doing there. Tipsy on the old tyres, of course, is going to be undercut here by the looks of it by Light Cruiser into turn 2 as he squeezes the McLaren up the inside.
That was right on the edge of being unfair as the lack of traction sends Tipsy into Icewind. Icewind got a big hefty punt there as he tries to go ahead of Tipsy. Now we'll try to outbrake him. Toto slipped through, and he's the last one to break, but he broke too late. And I think he just about tapped the wall. There may be some damage. Icewind on Toto for P5. And Toto keeps it ahead, just about. He did what he needed to do on softs.
And Pretorius for the lead. Pretorius has passed Popo for the lead on the fresh soft tyres. So Popo with those mediums really struggling with them. And Pretorius takes advantage, and he now is in the net lead of this race with that safety car. It definitely helped him out, and the softs have paid dividends for him.
Yeah, that safety car certainly was a godsend. He must have been very happy when he saw that, because it threw all the advantage the other guys had over him out of the window, so he can just take his advantage he got from qualifying on softs and run with it without any downside. So maybe he can get himself a healthy gap with Popo and Copy. Popo will hang on behind him, and
Oh, something happened to Luigi.
quite the movement, Costa!
Oh, Acosta spun.
He spins.
Yeah.
I think he got caught in someone's side pod there.
Didn't see what happens. One thing it is for sure, though, is that Luigi is... Oh, as he hits the wall on the exit of the S section at the end of the lap. Luigi is missing both
Max
end plates, so I think he's going to be pitting.
Yeah, Max Bill's picking off an easy target there in the form of Luigi, who now has to go to the pits, and he's on hards and probably need to put on another set of hards. Not happy about that, I guess.
Yep, he's not going to be happy at all, and presumably he used those hards in qualifying as well, so they're going to be used hards as well. Meanwhile, the train at the front, and it is still certainly a train. Toto is on the back of it, but he, of course, is on the soft tyres. Icewind on the mediums just behind as well. And then Kirst and Tipsy Bob, the two Renaults, both on hard tyres. Tipsy has gone backwards, though, because he is on used hard tyres, and Kirst is on new hard tyres. And just behind the two of them, Julian, who's making his way through the field very methodically. And he is going to be in contention very soon, I would have thought.
And I think the tyre advantage still kind of lies with Popo. At least I could see him break way later on some corners and gain like a 10th or even 2 in a certain corner on Pretorius. At least in the first half of the lap.
Oh, Icewind just hit the wall, did he?
Going strong.
Icewind has damage, he hit the wall.
Ah.
So Icewind missing an end plate in the left-hander. We saw him just hit the wall in the background.
Yeah, I believe Corsa is actually one who is in a very good position here.
Yep, he certainly is. Toto on Light Cruiser here. Into turn 1. Toto is going to have the... In fact, he's not going to have DRS because it hasn't been enabled yet. There goes DRS. It'll only take into...
Start of the second. Icewind! Oh, he gets a speeding penalty! No!
Yep,
That
we saw
is
him.
quite unfortunate.
Saw him get that
Toto
damage.
will now pick off Light Cruiser, I'm very certain. DRS is enabled. And he'll try to go to the inside now. The overspeed kicks in. He leaves him no room on the outside, or at least not more than he needs to give. Has the inside for the corner, but a little slip on traction. Almost made Light Cruiser come back on him. Didn't in the end. Nice position, nice position gain, nice execution by Toto.
Yep, Toto up to 3rd place on the road at the moment. Of course, he will have to pit from those soft tyres.
Julian looks impatient.
Yep, he's right on the back of Tipsy. Tipsy on the old tyres, of course. So Julian going to have a look up the inside into the right-hander, but that would have been a very ambitious move indeed, even with the tyre advantage.
Dive into castle, go. Aww. That is so sad. Maybe he'll even try it here. I think this is the brake check corner is a very ambitious spot to overtake, but Julian has certainly got the pace on Tipsy. We've got yellows. Let's hope no one crashed for Julian. Okay, no, he thinks better of it. I thought he might be the kind of driver that goes for that if he's confident, but he also doesn't seem like he's the driver who does stupid stuff when overtaking people.
Well, I think he's happy to wait for DRS as well. He knows if he overtakes there that he loses the DRS. So that's the advantage that he will want to keep in this race as they start lap 11.
Yeah, now he's got him. And he will lock his eyes on the next Renault up the road. Milos, who's currently running in a net P4, if you look at Toto's strategy. Very good position, but I think Julian's coming from him, and resistance might be futile as Kirst hits the wall and drops a piece of front wing.
Oh, Milos.
Speaking about him having a good position, that is unfortunate. He will not pit again. So there's no chance to get that one fixed unless he wants to do an extra pit stop.
We'll see exactly how much damage he's got here. Oh, as he again sends it a little bit deep into the right-hander. Milos certainly does have some scrapes with walls, doesn't he? And he's had another one here today.
He's driving the offline here, and now Julian has got massive overspeed on him, and he passes him right in the middle of the track. Little wheel, Robin, and will they go towards Castle? Milos has to go out of that, I believe. Yeah, he does. And oh no! Yeah, oh no! That was ping pong.
Milos.
Hit the ball like in three instances as NJJ is retired. And I believe
that was in the castle section for sure.
Flat into the wall there. And it doesn't
Leclerc.
bring out the safety car.
Well, we don't think so, and yeah, you can see there that's exactly what Charles Leclerc did in qualifying, of course. So NJJ out of the race, unfortunately for him. Looks like that's only going to be covered under yellows, though. So still green flag racing for the time being. Pretorius has a lead of 1.3 seconds as they start lap 12 over Copy, and Toto another 1.3 behind as we see Milos, I think, is going to be pitting here, having lost by that point most of his front wing. Indeed, there he goes.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think we might have commentators cursed him. Doesn't look like he was blessed.
Commentators Miloshed him.
And there's one thing I need to confess. This, after I think like 2 months with this name, is the moment where I realize why he's called blessed, because it's the opposite of being cursed. And I only realized the irony. I only just noticed the irony in that. I am a very slow brain boy sometimes.
Yeah, Milos with the Lewis Hamilton reference and the cursed reference as well.
Oh god.
I thought it was as he outbrakes himself,
and that will cost him some more time. He's quite cracking, you could say. Yeah, I thought it was only a Lewis Hamilton reference, but I thought, why? He's not even a Hamilton fan to my knowledge. Why would he do that? And I only now realized. Up front, in other news, people that aren't slow, mentally and on track, are Copy and Pretorius, and the gap is 1.2 seconds. So I think it's almost even. I think Copy is just a little bit quicker. I'll check lap times. Pretorius has been doing has consistently been doing 43.2s and
43.1 from Copy. So
yes, Copy closed in a little. I think Copy has just about got the edge. Even though Pretorius' pace is impressive, Copy is just a little bit quicker. As Tipsy, goes ahead of Toto, of course, because
Toto's pitted. He's put the medium tyres on, so Toto gets himself a 5-second penalty, and that's a really unnecessary one for crossing the white line on pit exit.
What?
So
Just watch. What?
I mean, we saw him do it. It was a fair cop. He definitely did it. But he gets himself 5 seconds for that.
It's the first time I've seen that penalty. I thought that only gives you a warning.
Yeah, I think it depends how badly you cut it or how badly you cross it.
He just played this straight line.
He just yeeted it, absolutely. So 5 seconds for Toto. Gap up front still 1.3, so the two of them circulating pretty much the same sort of lap time. And this is going to be a duel, I would imagine, to the end of the race, with Pretorius and Copy both trying to outwit the other and trying to use the DRS to their advantage.
It's one good thing about battles in Baku like this, because both of them are running very similar pace, and the DRS, with the DRS being available if you're within 1 second, I don't think a Copy is quick enough that if he was to pass Pretorius, he'd be able to get him out of DRS that quickly. So Pretorius would hang on and would get an extended fight, which is of course what I like to see. I hope that most of you like to see. So this looks quite promising for the race lead. The stakes are high.
As Tipsy goes into the pit lane, he's going to put the medium tyres on. And something else we haven't mentioned, Julian now up to P4. And that is a real P4. He won't have to pit again between now and the end of the race, so he is going to be knocking on the door of that podium very soon indeed.
I was gonna check how high the stakes actually are, and Copy and Pretorius are actually P1 and P3 in the standings, as Jensen is absent. So he won't score today is what I tried to say. And Pretorius didn't get a podium this season so far. Finished 4th twice. This is his shot, maybe even at a win. Copy has actually not won the season either. So
yep,
yeah,
both
the
Pretorius and Copy. Certainly Pretorius very fast around here. We saw that, as Thimo mentioned, last year, and we're seeing it again this year as Costa relinquishes P5 to Toto. That happened in the castle section? What happened there? Don't exactly know.
That doesn't sound right. Costa's lacking a left end plate.
Maybe Costa crashed then, maybe that was why.
Yeah, but that just seems to be a Baku specific skin on all of the cars. I haven't seen one where the front wing is on properly. And now Pretorius, this lap he was just about quicker. He must be under so much pressure. A little mistake, just a little slip of traction or something, and a third of a second would put Copy into the DRS, and try shaking someone out of your DRS. You're going to have a hard time.
Yep, not easy at all, but Pretorius for the moment doesn't have to worry about DRS too much, because he is out of that 1 second window that he would need to be in this Copy for that DRS. 12 laps to go then, and for the top 4 this is a shootout to the end of the race. Pretorius from Copy, from Light Cruiser from Julian.
This is some very nice, clean, calculated driving by Pretorius. He just gained half a second within the first sectors. Copy maybe got damaged that I didn't notice. No, he's got both of his end plates. So
yep, we've been watching Copy.
Yeah, Copy has just dropped like 7/10 a second since the start of the lap. I don't know what on, if Pretorius has suddenly found the key to being very quick, or Copy has dropped a little.
Well, Pretorius is 2/10 down on his delta, so I would imagine that it's the latter as Popo overtakes Costa.
At the castle section.
Yep.
A little bit after it though, so it doesn't sound quite as ridiculous.
So in terms of lap times, Pretorius about to cross the line now. Pretorius does a 1 minute 42.9. Copy does a 1 minute 43.2. So Pretorius did speed up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh
impressive.
no, Milosh.
What did
We
Milosh
have lost Milosh.
No.
He is retired from the session. I'm going to go on board.
He's not blessed anymore.
That looks suspiciously like the castle section to me.
I mean, he's
VSC.
in the second. Oh,
VSC.
Well, there's no one who's going to profit off of that. Costa's pitting, so maybe he. But yeah, and Ocean Chief might want to pit as well, because Ocean Chief is still on mediums, but he doesn't pit. I don't know. Maybe he plans to drag him to the end, but I don't think 20 laps in mediums is realistic at all. So yeah, no, don't think that's happening, Chief.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. So he'll be hoping that the VSC, well, it's not going to go on long enough for him to be able to pit, is it? He's only just started this lap.
Yeah, and I mean I think Costa was ahead of him, so Costa managed to pit, so he definitely had the potential to pit.
Oh, he had the he had the opportunity. So yeah, he definitely should have pit. I would have thought, unless he thinks he can get the mediums to the end, which seems quite optimistic to me. Oh no, Milosh's pedals are doing the Terror pedals cosplay. That's very bad news.
Oh no! And there's
Oh, Julian, 5 seconds for exceeding track limits. What was that all about?
what?
Where would that have been?
Maybe like turn 1 where you can.
No, he's towards the end of the lap. I don't know where that would have been. That's a curious one.
What the frick? Does an entire car fit past the white line on the right side of the final proper
Yeah,
turn?
the left-hander. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe that's it. But like 5-second track extensions, you can see. I don't know if you're running with him right now, but he does balance with the white line. Like he puts his left tire on the white line.
Maybe
he's
it
on the
was
right side
maybe
of
it was on
and
entry then. Yeah.
in Bahrain, that's what gives you the 5-second penalties. There's
Yeah,
3
yeah.
corners where you do that.
So maybe that's
expect
what it
that's
is.
it. But I've never seen that one around Baku. And Copy is now within the second of Pretorius, so we have got ourselves a fight. Maybe. It depends how well they run through the remainder of the lap.
Yeah.
See
Needs
if
to use as
Copy
much
can still
DRS
win.
as much ERS as he can for the remainder of this lap. As Copy he is within the second at the moment, but Pretorius is going to try and shake him out.
Jeez. Shouldn't run on board there. It makes I feel like a coward when I watch these guys go through there, compared to what I know I do there. But yeah, it looks like Pretorius. Oh, yeah.
Pretorius made a mistake there in the left-hander, and I think
Well,
Copy
the
is now
curb
going to
too
get
much, didn't he?
DRS. Yeah, I think so.
Now, yeah, that is going to be DRS. But Pretorius is outdraining Copy on ERS. It's 40% for Copy, and it is 70% for Pretorius. And ERS is quite important on this track. Not
Yep.
that hard to manage, but you need it to pass. You don't necessarily need it to pass, but it's very advisable.
Well, point 0.9 was the gap at the beginning of the DRS zone. It's now 0.7, so just over a tenth gained there.
Yeah, and he put it into 0 on ERS there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's trying to get a launch out of the corner, and then at the end of the corner just drag along in the DRS of Pretorius, and just hold that second to regen his power, and then be able to mount an attack towards the end of the race. That's probably the best strategy.
So Copy now within striking range of Pretorius with 9 laps to go, including this one. Light Cruiser's fallen some way off the back, 6 seconds now between himself and Copy. And Julian a further 3 seconds battle with that 5-second penalty, of course.
Speaking of which, I don't know if that's what he was referring to, but Speedy said it's brake check corner, and I assume that's his take on where the 5 seconds came from. And
might well be.
There is quite the. I mean, I think there's a car with space on the outside in brake check corner, so maybe you put it off there and second there, the penalty. And yeah, I think that's what's happened there. Thanks, Speedy.
This Copy lost DRS again, not quite. He just about has it.
Yeah, calculated.
Just about. But yeah, as you mentioned, his ERS is getting drained. Down to 30% now. Pretorius back up at 60%. And if he's got the DRS, then it's not going to matter so much.
It keeps him from getting closer for now. He needs to sharpen his weapons before he goes for the attack at the end. There's a pretty high success rate of attacks here at Baku if you're close within a second, and at the end of the lap with DRS.
Now you mentioned,
okay,
yeah, he says
okay.
it's yeeting it over the curb, so maybe that's what the 5 seconds was. Because yeah, it's not a normal
Yeah.
corner cutting warning. It's something else, but maybe that's what you get it for. Don't know Baku well enough to be able to say that.
Yeah, when I said it was probably the outside, I just assumed it was me not being able to think of a way to brake there on the outside without just knocking off your wheel. But apparently it's actually not possible because that corner is tightening up and you can't really brake
Yeah,
on
no,
the
it's really
outside.
difficult.
So I was confused. But that explains it. You must have properly heated it then.
So battle between these two is now pretty much joined with 7 laps to go as they cross the line. It's Pretorius and Copy, and this is going to be a shootout for all of the marbles here in Baku. Copy and Pretorius both looking for their first wins of the season. Light Cruiser is just over 6 seconds behind, with Julian bearing down on him. But no other battles on track, so we're going to keep our eyes very much focused on this one here with 7 laps to go. And I would imagine we're going to be in the sort of cat and mouse phase where neither driver particularly wants to use all of the resources that they have in terms of tyres, in terms of fuel, in terms of battery, until the last couple of laps when they really count.
And the resources have actually evened out now. Properly, they are both exactly the same amount of ERS. So now both can fight with all they have. And Copy has the one advantage that is the DRS. And Ocean Chief pits for softs. He's going to stay inside of the top 10 out of Icewind, who didn't have a good race. So Ocean Chief might actually not need death to get P10. Maybe his own death would lead him to P10.
Well, I mean, he's got Luigi just ahead, 4 seconds or so. Luigi on hards, Ocean Chief on softs. And he's also got Tipsy 3 seconds up the road as well. So I just wonder how interested he's going to be in those positions. This could be a very good result indeed for Ocean Chief, if he can keep it on the straight and narrow.
Luigi also with a 5-second penalty. I don't know if he served it.
Oh, here goes Copy.
Anyways, here we go. It is the long straight, and Copy's first attack will prove to be a good one. He's on the outside, he's already well ahead, and he also sets the fastest lap. Now, lap 21, and Pretorius is right on the back of Copy. Can he strike back here in the run-up to turn 3? DRS is open, and I don't think he'll be able to. He'll stick behind Copy until they come up to the start-finish straight once again.
Yep, 6 laps to go, and the gap, well, you can see the gap right there, 0.3 of a second, but really it's all about track position. It's all about who gets the DRS on the straights. It's all about who can conserve their battery for the last couple of laps, which is when you really need to be fast if you're going to win this race, if you're going to win this duel between these two drivers. Through the castle once again, with 5 more times through the castle to survive for each of them.
I'm confident they can do it.
As Icewind pits again, I wonder if he's going to put some softs on and try and do the fastest lap.
Okay, Max Boltz's AI gets out of the way. I almost thought it was going to give DRS to Copy. That would have changed the balance of things up front. Copy's actually made a pretty good gap in that one lap, indicating that he is indeed quicker right now. And now, can Pretorius come back at him? Round 2. Pretorius tries to strike back. He is in overtake mode. Copy isn't for the moment. And will he go to the inside? Copy chooses the outside, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, Pretorius is well ahead and he's got him back. Not much of a resistance by Copy.
Yeah, no reason to fight him at all. You don't really want to be ahead at this point, because if you are, then you don't, of course, get DRS. You can not use the slipstream.
And he also drained him out. Oh, they're running side by side still. Pretorius has still got his nose in there. Yeah, that was a win for Copy because he kept this position and he's drained some DRS off of Pretorius. He spent less than Pretorius did, even though the gap is only marginal. It might matter at the end.
Yep, something else to keep an eye on is the fact that Julian is less than 2 seconds now behind Light Cruiser for 3rd place, so he might get his podium after all. After the trials and tribulations he had at the beginning of this race. But for the win, it's all about these two, Copy and Pretorius, who we're on board with as we come up towards the end of lap 22. 23, 24, 25 and 26 to go after this one.
One thing I want to note and give a shout out for is the fact that both Copy and Pretorius don't have a single warning each. And I mean, there's few points where you can actually get some, but brake check corner after castle section, it is possible, and they didn't get a single one. And now Pretorius once again on the charge as Copy is complete in ERS 0, and Pretorius drains about 20 percentage points of his battery. So Pretorius gets through once again, and Copy will try to do the same thing he did last lap, which is attacking here and getting past, but it looks like the gap is too big. No, he doesn't get past here. He'll try to get through next lap.
Yeah, Copy not using any battery at all there. So he's up at 80%. Pretorius a little bit lower, down at 60%, but as long as you have enough for the last lap, that is what matters. It'll be a qualifying style last lap for the two of them, I would have thought.
It's been a qualifying style last 23 laps for the two of them. By my standards.
We will keep an eye on the Light Cruiser Julian scrap, which is looking like it might be a thing before the end of the race, as Julian very, very nearly hits the wall in the castle section. Ran just a little bit wide in the first left-hander, and don't know whether he touched the wall. He certainly got close enough to it that he will have been worried.
One thing I want to point out as well is that in the brake track corner, Copy always uses all of the curb on the inside, where Pretorius seems to make sure that he avoids it every time. And that Copy back on Pretorius, and I think you know what's going to happen here. You don't have to be a fortune teller, as Copy is ahead once again, and I mean, if they're oh he gets very wiggly on the exit and they make contact. Luckily this game's damage situation is absolute trash, because otherwise there would have been a puncture for Copy for sure.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? Yellows in sector 1, don't know why.
Costa is straight lined it once again.
No idea. So Costa jumping out of the way of the two leaders, just behind Julian, now 1.6 behind Light Cruiser. And there's a scrap brewing here for 7th, 8th and 9th as well. Tipsy on the mediums, Luigi on the hards, and Ocean on the fresh softs.
Ocean hasn't given up on the Battle of Ireland just yet.
Nope, absolutely not. So it's going to be an interesting one. We'll follow that towards the end of the race. But for now, with 2.5 laps to go, this is the lead scrap, and Copy and Pretorius, nothing separating them through the castle section. Just a quarter of a second. And now we're getting towards the point where track position and tactics and resources that you've harvested for the last 5 laps or so are really going to matter.
Cheddar speculating about front wing damage for Copy. I personally cannot see anything. The front wing looks fine to me.
Yep, looks totally fine to me as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any. But also I don't know how line boom damage looks. So...
yeah, certainly not missing an end plate or anything like that, and he doesn't seem to be slowing himself down at all. We'll just keep an eye on the lap time. 42.4 I think was his fastest lap before Icewind broke it. And he is slower than that.
It is 2 laps to go, and oh, they're running side by side. He didn't make the entire move stick, and now they're kind of in a weird situation. A half side by side. Can Pretorius outbrake him? Yes, he can. He's ahead, and yeah, I think that's him through.
Well, it is for the time being. Is that where you want to be, though, on the penultimate lap?
Well, it is for him if they're going to swap positions every time they come across the line, because then Copy would lead until the final lap, and then Pretorius would get him at the end. Or maybe he wouldn't, because the line is too soon. Oh, it's so exciting. I want to know. Tell me already what happens.
So with a lap and a half to go, it's these two still. Keeping an eye on the battles elsewhere. Julian is very close to DRS range as Copy almost loses on traction. What's happened to Toto? Toto has spun.
Oh, no!
Gone straight on in turn 3, and he's lost 5th place to Popo, unfortunately.
Oh, that is very sad. I was actually thinking about giving him at least bringing him up in driver of the day with a very positive mention, but at the line in P5 running very solidly, but I think that might be out of the window now. Now the question is, will Copy repass Pretorius here? I mean, the obvious answer seems to be yes. The question is, does he want to though?
Well, they both have a full enough battery that they can do pretty much a full lap in hot lap on the last lap, and yeah, Pretorius is not going to have any defense here at all.
No funny Terra Incognita DRS strategy games here, as Copy takes the lead once again for the final time through turn 1.
Now, I imagine this one is going to be contested. Into turn 3, it's going to be heavily contested. Pretorius is really going to want to be close enough, and he's really going to want to overtake as they head up towards turn number 3. Doesn't look like he's close enough, though.
Maybe staying behind is the good thing. He sucks himself closer to Copy, but not enough. It is close, and you look, just the body language of his car, it tells you, you can just read how much he wants to get past here, but he can't. The question is this actually a favorable position for him? Maybe he can get past. I think Queenie was the one who said in chat that that the one who is behind at the start of the final straight is going to be the one who wins the race, but it depends. We've seen passes made just after the line, so final time castle section goes well, maybe.
Yeah,
it's all going to come down for these final 2 proper corners and the run to the line. Pretorius versus Copy, who will get his first win of the season. Pretorius will certainly get his first podium of the season, but none of them have won a race in Season 4 yet. And Pretorius gets a poor run through the brake check corner, so Copy might as well. Might have just given himself enough room. It looks like there's a big gap. I think Pretorius is in trouble here.
I don't think he's close enough. I think Copy's going to get this one, even with the DRS on the last straight. I don't think this is going to be close enough. They both have full batteries.
Good run here, though, and I think Pretorius might just run out. He's coming closer and closer and closer. DRS is open, but the line is going to come too soon, I imagine. Pretorius gets closer. Where's the line for Copy? There is the line, and it's 0.17 seconds that separate them in the end. Copy takes victory here at Azerbaijan, ahead of Pretorius, light cruiser ahead of Julian. The penalty didn't matter in the end. He is in P4 as Popo Gamer comes through the final.
And there's a big battle here on the last lap between Tipsy and Luigi. Tipsy on the mediums, Luigi on the hards, and Ocean Chief just behind the two of them as well on the soft tyres. Tipsy goes to the inside to defend, I would imagine, as Ocean Chief sends one down the inside. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? What's Tipsy doing here? Is he letting his man through? I don't exactly know. These two are going to cross the line. Oh, these three are going to cross the line almost together, though. And we're going to see who's going to get this P7. Ocean is in front at the moment. Tipsy just behind. Luigi just behind him. It's going to be so close between the three of them. Ocean's a sitting duck. He's not got DRS. Oh, no, Ocean. Overtaken by the two of them. Tipsy gets it from Luigi, from Ocean Chief. And was that Tipsy doing the big strategy and letting Ocean past so that he could get DRS down the main straight? I wonder if that's what it was. So Ocean gets mugged out of P7. He ends up P9. Icewind P10 with the fastest lap, so 2 points for both of the Alfa Romeo drivers. But your winner is Copy, Season 2 champion Copy, in that Williams. He just comes out on top ahead of Pretorius. It was a fantastic battle between the two of them. And I'm going to say that I think that was probably the best race of the season so far as SLR Tier 1 is concerned.
Yeah, I think I might agree. I will have to think about the other races. I know we had very long trains. We were all fighting for victory. I was quite concerned about this one because we had only two very quick guys at the front in their normal positions, but they delivered. And while their fight was brewing, the others also had very nice scraps that proved to be quite entertaining. So yeah, I really loved that one. The two safety cars definitely threw things around quite a lot, and I loved it.
Yep, it was a lot of fun to commentate, that's for sure. And let us know if you, or put yourself in the gentleman's lounge if you want to be interviewed. We have to give driver of the day as well, don't we? So let's maybe do that.
Oh, this is...
Who do we give it to?
So you know what's the trouble with all of this is the fact that I mean, we've always given it to the winner this season so far, and I don't know, man. It's tough. We kind of don't always want to do the same. The winner gets rewarded with actually winning the race, you know, because that helps you. So that's a reward in and of itself. And I don't know. Was there anyone who really stood out? I think, even though I mentioned that I thought he might have lost his claim to it, I think Popo's in the Toto is in the running for it. He started in P16, and he was on a strategy that, at least in my eyes, was inferior. I don't know. Maybe that's just me not being up to date or anything, but I think he did very well, even with the spin, and he finished P6 from P16. Kept it clean, so that's a good performance. And then also on the fight ahead, Copy and Pretorius.
Well, I was going to say, Pretorius starting on the softs and making that strategy work for him. He was helped by the safety car, but honestly, even without the safety car, I think he was in a good position there. He would have had to pit a little bit ahead of Copy, but would have had a little bit better track position, but worse tyres, so I don't know if that would have helped him out towards the end of the race. But yeah, I think Pretorius is at least an honourable mention, and maybe maybe a contender for driver of the day.
One very sad thing I have to tell you. Ocean Chief's DRS was broken for the last 5 laps.
Oh no. Oh, what a disaster.
Yeah, it happened to me in Tier 2 as well, but I was luckily not behind anyone, so I couldn't have used it anyway. But,
No, it's...
Yeah, that is like the one thing you don't want to happen.
Not at Baku. Yeah, not
right
at Baku.
At Baku. Oh boy. Poor guy. I don't know. So it's just, it would kind of feel weird having a fight between Pretorius and Copy all race, and I think in the end, even though the second VSC was a little bit favorable for Copy, I think Copy made his own luck in that one. VSC is always like a little risk reward thing. How close are you willing to go? Well, the safety car was just flat out favorable for Pretorius. So I think Copy had a little bit of a disadvantage throughout the race, and he still managed to win just by a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
So I don't know if we're going to give it to someone other two. I think it should be Copy, because in the end he beat him, and they were. Yeah,
that's probably true. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally happy with giving it to Copy as well. I mean, I think it's. I think the issue is that until we've done sort of the cycle of the top drivers, as it were, each of them getting a driver of the day, then it's difficult to justify giving it to somebody who has sort of, you know, even by the smallest of margins has just lost out in a direct battle. So yeah, I think it has to be. I think it probably has to be Copy.
Yeah, probably. Next race, we promise we try not to be boring again by giving it to someone else for the winner. except if the winner is the standout performer. We don't have a choice. So try to give us a choice, people.
All right, who are we going to talk to first of all? We've got. Should we talk to Julian first of all?
Yeah,
'Cause,
Julian seems like he really wants to talk to us.
yeah, Julian was I think first in the channel, so he gets to be interviewed first. Hello, Julian. How's it going?
All right, considering I finished in P4 after I didn't get an invite. I was actually late by 20 seconds, so that was really annoying.
Ah, it's unfortunate.
Yep, so I missed quali, started last. I wasn't really careful into turn 1, but somehow someone still managed to completely ruin my race by completely turning to the right and turning me into the wall, so that was great. I expected a safety car, which came, so I was kind of happy about that, but I saw it coming, so yeah. Then I had a good restart, overtook quite some people, got a little bit stuck behind, I think 1 or 2 people, mainly the runners, but yeah, pace was good again, even though I didn't practice as much as normally, so yeah, I'm happy with the result considering the circumstances.
Yeah, you certainly had you had pretty good pace there towards the end of the race. You couldn't quite reel in Light Cruiser. It was shaping up to be a good battle for a while between the two of you. But we did see that you got that 5-second penalty. What was that for? Because we were confused by that one.
I think it said in the notification as well on the screen for corner cutting.
It was extending track limits for some weird reason.
Yeah, but it was for corner cutting. That corner after the castle section, like you have 2 fast kinks and then the next corner
The
after.
brake
like-
check
yeah,
corner,
yeah.
the brake check corner. So
Yeah.
just like Speedy suspected.
Yep, that corner, I was playing with the track limits all race there. Like some laps doing it more than others, and then that lap was a little bit too much, so I cut it too much and got a stop go. But it didn't affect the results, so.
Yeah,
I don't-
no, that's
I'm
true.
probably not gonna report it because why would I?
Yeah, no, I think it's
Experimental one.
yeah, it's one of those unfortunate ones that the game doesn't quite treat those very consistently, because normally that sort of thing would be a warning, but this time
Yeah,
it was.
but about the light cruiser thing, I tried to catch up. I tried to do that Bottas thing on Stroll, but I was a little bit too far away, so I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you get a chance to see the broadcast, there was an epic one behind you, for 7th, 8th, and
was
9th with
three
Ocean
wide.
Chief. Yeah,
I'll
three
definitely have
wide.
to look at it every week. But if I did get that position, I would have appealed it, but I didn't, so I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, P4 from the back of the grid is still a good result, regardless. You still got some good points for that.
Very nice for when I get a full-time seat.
Yep. Well, fingers crossed that that's going to be soon.
I
'Cause, yeah,
was
we,
promised by Ocean Chief it was gonna be soon, so it better be.
Well, we will cross our fingers for that one. But yeah, well done on the P4, and yeah, we'll see you in Barcelona next week. And yeah, thank you for talking to us, and I'll drag you back into the main channel now. So there goes Julian. And should we talk to Mr. Icewind, who I think was keen to talk to us. He was one of the first in as well. Icewind, we saw you had really good pace. Certainly at the end of the race with the fastest lap. You were certainly
it
on
was
pace
just
with them.
because I basically had nothing to lose. I had like
Yeah.
20 seconds ahead of me and 27 seconds behind me, and I figured out I'm in P10, so I just pit for softs and get the fastest lap of the race. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
A bit of a messy race from me. I destroyed my front wing 3 times, and stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't really expecting anything from this, so 2 points is much better than nothing. So I don't know. I don't know if you caught it on stream, but in quali I was like 1.8 seconds up on my time.
Oh no.
And then I ran out of fuel on the main
Oh,
straight,
no.
and I
Yeah, we wondered what had
improved by
happened, and
3/10 or something.
And yeah, we were told that you'd run out of fuel. Because yeah, we were quite
so,
confused because it looked like a really fast lap.
Yeah, it would have been like P3, I think.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that's
because
unfortunate.
my hard time was 40.7 or something, and I was 1.8 seconds up, so it would have been
Yeah,
P2 or 3.
yeah, that's
Oh, well.
unfortunate. I think we saw that you did you abandon the lap before that? You must have done, right?
Yeah, because I invalidated it.
Okay,
so-
yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's why but it was a kind of a noob mistake. I thought I have fuel for another lap, but no, well, I didn't.
Did you catch what happened to Ocean Chief at the end with the with the broken DRS and the drag race to the line.
We were on VC. He was complaining the last 5 laps that he didn't get the
Oh dear.
DRS, so he just I knew the guys let him pass because so that they would get DRS, and he just decided that he'll go for it because he had nothing to lose. His DRS was broken.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, they were still too fast on the straight, unfortunately, to keep him. To keep him.
One
in
point
front.
for Alpha. I mean, I'm not too sad about this, even if was a bit of a messy race, but I survived, so that's.
Yeah. Plenty of people didn't. There were 17 starters, and I think only 12 finishers. So.
I mean,
Yeah, this is definitely my worst track by far, like by far.
yeah, I mean, sometimes the old guard in Alfa Romeo just has to give way to the young blood of Ocean Chief. It
Indeed.
just happens.
Yeah, and I was happy. I mean, I was kind of. I told Chief that because he also pitted for the softs at the end, and I told him that I'll only pit for softs if you don't get the fastest lap of the race, and he didn't, so that's why I. Because I would have been happy to have him have that point.
Yep, that would have been that would certainly have been one of the headlines. Ocean Chief gets fastest lap. That would have been good.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how
there's a
far he was
headline.
of that because I got it now, but yeah,
Well,
it is what it is.
well done
Last
on
time it
the.
was a headline, and he didn't get fastest lap of the race.
Yeah,
Still
that's
was a
true.
headline,
That's true.
so-
It still was. Well done on the 2 points anyway. I guess you're a bit more confident for Barcelona coming up.
It's definitely a better track for me. I think a lot of people are all strong there, but it's not as bad as this anyway.
Yeah, no,
Shouldn't
that's good. I remember you were strong last season there, so yeah, looking forward to.
Yeah, I just had those technical issues last season, so hopefully that's at least
Yeah, cool.
dust.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, and I'll drag you back into No Man's Land, which
See you
seems to be the channel
We're
of
going for
choice.
Luigi to the end, or-
And yeah, we'll bring Luigi in because Luigi, you were disappointed after last week's race. How are you feeling after this week's race? It was a very different race in terms of. I mean, it was just a race of attrition, really. I mean, so many cars retired, and there were safety cars and all of that sort of stuff. So how are you feeling after that one?
Still disappointed. I mean,
Yeah, but-
man, I really had a shot for the podium even. I had an incredible pace at the beginning. You know, first few laps I was still adapting to the dirty air and all that, and trying to brake, having a car right in front of you. And by the at the end, I was gonna pass like on the main straight, and there was that beautiful safety car that ruined my race because I missed the pit stops. I missed the beautiful pit stops, and so no pit stop for me, and so I pit the other lap, and I come out P11, I think, and that's how it went all downhill. You know, when the lights went on again, somebody broke super early. And so I went into him because I was pressured by Julian in the back, you know, and I was really afraid if I braked as early, I would get destroyed. So I braked a little bit later. I touched him. He hit the wall, and the man didn't take it well, and he brake checked me. I don't know if you got it, but he brake checked me, and he destroyed my entire front wing.
Oh dear, no, we didn't get that. We'll have
Yeah,
to investigate that.
I'll have to report that.
But yeah, that's unfortunate. But you did bring us the fact that you had obviously unfortunate that you had such an eventful race, but it did bring us the last lap shenanigans that you had with
I did have
with
a
Ocean
really
and
good
Tipsy.
race at the end, and that was wild. I was really hoping to get, you know, I was gonna push more to get P6, 7, I think that would have been.
Yeah,
But I
P7.
knew I had a P5 because I went into somebody on the safety car, and it got me 5-second penalty. I mean, they were so slow on the realignment. So yeah, that got me a 5-second penalty. A bit unfortunate because I barely touched the guy. It was Ocean. I'm sure he didn't even feel it like that bad.
Yeah, we didn't see
So,
any damage on your car.
Definitely not. I mean, you know, it was like a 0.5 kilometer difference, literally. So yeah, that's my race. It was pretty fun at the end. I was trying to catch the Tipsy. I was successful at the end because his tires were going off. But at the beginning, obviously, mediums are way faster.
Yeah.
But I was able to hold Chief on the soft till the last lap. And I think I could have done it. You know, I could have stayed within out of the DRS zone if it wasn't for Tipsy being very slow at the end. I don't know if he had front wing or something.
No, he was playing it cool. I'm pretty sure he was letting Ocean Chief through, so that he would get DRS. I'm pretty sure that was what he was doing.
No, but before that, you know, because I had like a 2-second gap, and in the last lap I catched
Oh,
him.
I see. Okay.
I was
Yeah.
right on his back, and then obviously I saw what he wanted to do. You know, I guess Chief fell for it, or he said it's because he doesn't have his DRS
His
brake.
DRS was broken anyway. Yeah, exactly.
That's trash.
Pretty unfortunate,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was certainly entertaining for us to watch. So
Yeah, it must have been
So that
pretty
was good.
epic at the end.
yeah,
Was
no, it
Timo
certainly was.
screaming? That's like the
Um,
best part.
Yeah, I mean, well, Timo was sort of screaming for the lead battle, and then yeah, it was me and him both screaming for the battle. Yeah, 7th, 8th, 9th. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun casting that.
Well, you know, it's a worst track out of the way. You know, this track
Yeah, a
is
lot of
just-
people
it
have said that.
demands so
Not much love for Baku.
focus. It hurts your eyes, you know, trying to spot the breaking points. They're so well hidden.
It doesn't hurt as
Uh,
much as Rainbow Road though.
I don't know. I don't really know much about Rainbow Road. I used it one in F2 Monaco last week actually because I forgot to turn it off after my practice with Adam, so I did an entire race with it. And yeah, it does hurt. It does hurt.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well done on the points today. It wasn't the result you wanted, but it was more points, and you
Yeah.
survived, which a lot of people didn't. So
Kobe,
yeah,
if
well
you're
done.
watching this, I'm sorry for the lack of points. I can't take it now.
He got some points. He got some points. So that's good. But yeah, I'm gonna drag you back into the gentleman's lounge.
Alright, next week expect something.
Yeah, we
better.
will do. We'll look out for you in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I'll
talking
you
to
in
us.
that.
Oh no, I regret.
Me.
All right, there goes Luigi, and that I think is going to do it for this broadcast. Of course, stay with EGL this evening because we got the Assetto Corsa race from Imola coming up. So join. Who's doing the casting for that one? It's Wimpy and Icewind, right? Is it still Wimpy and Icewind?
I believe so.
I believe so. Yeah. So join them for that. That's going to be a fun time. And yeah, we've got 2 SRL tomorrow, of course, which is the usual festivities. Tier 2 at 5 o'clock or 5:30 maybe, and then Tier 1 at 7. That's UK time. So yeah, join us for all of those things. But for now, from Baku, from me and Thimo, it is goodbye. We will see you next time.
Goodbye.